from the National News Studio, Sri Lanka.
Good evening and welcome to the National News broadcast, bringing to you live from the National News Studios here at Rupavahini. We're ready to bring you the top stories here at home and around the world. I'm Charita Vilpurarapchi.
And I'm Kenza Farooq. Let's take a look at your headlines for tonight. The President instructs to prepare a plan to establish a sports culture in the country. 2 new gazette notifications to develop the gem industry in Sri Lanka. All share price index crosses 20,000 units mark for the first time. Parliamentarian Harsha De Silva should apologize to the nation for his damaging statement regarding Indo-Lanka relations, says Mahasangha. Lanka Postal Services Association not to join the strike. Trump, Putin meet to be held in Alaska.
On to those and other stories in detail now, and starting off with the top local story. A review on the implementation of the 2025 budget allocations for the Ministry of Youth Affairs and Sports, together with the preliminary discussions on the 2026 budget proposal, was held at the Presidential Secretariat today under the patronage of President Anura Kumara Dissanayake. During this discussion, the allocations made in 2025 to 8 institutions under the Ministry of Youth Affairs and Sports and the current status of the related projects were reviewed separately. The President pointed out that the long-standing issue in all sectors, including youth affairs and sports, is a failure to allocate budgetary provisions properly for the advancement. He further noted that although the last budget allocated the necessary funds for all sectors, there has been a dissatisfaction regarding the proper utilization for the relevant projects. The President emphasized that such allocations should be fully utilized with the respective financial year to deliver benefits to the public, treating this as a priority task. During the discussion, the President stressed the importance of preparing the 2026 budget proposals with the objective of creating a sports culture in the country, developing sports-related infrastructure, implementing programs to identify athletes and international potential, and elevating athletes to the global stage. The President instructed that a plan to be prepared to establish a sports culture and also advised that in promoting sports, the maximum possible participation of sports associations should be secured and the necessary facilities be provided to them. At this meeting, the President also instructed officials to expedite the renovations and construction of sport complexes for which funds have already been allocated, including the Sugatadasa Indoor Stadium in Colombo, those in Kilinochchi and Manad district, and other being built across the island.
A media briefing was held at the Government Information Department today under the patronage of the Minister of Power, Kumara Jayakuri. The aim of the press briefing is to enlighten the proposed wind power project in Mannar and its present situation. Minister of Power Kumara Jayakuri said that there had been 2 planned projects, one with 250 megawatts from the island of Anardivi and another with 400 megawatts from Poonarin. He stated that both of these projects had been withdrawn by the relevant parties. He explained that the government now intends to reintroduce them through a competitive tender process, allowing any company, including the Adani Group, to submit bids, and that the projects would be awarded to the most successful and lowest bidder. The minister emphasized that the government is committed to ensuring that no citizens' rights are violated and that no harm is caused to the environment or any location. He said that all aspects of both projects had been planned in line with the required approvals and recommendations, and nothing would proceed without meeting those standards.
The Colombo Stock Exchange surpassed 20,000 units for the first time in history in its all-share price index. At the end of the day, the total earnings touched 9.5 billion rupees. The reason for the hike has been the more traction of local and foreign investors to the Colombo Stock Exchange. An executive officer of the Colombo Stock Exchange, Shrema Fernando, says that the decrease in interest rates and inflation, increase in gross domestic product and several other factors has influenced the present situation. And also, the newly appointed Inspector General of Police, Priyantha Veerasurya, called on President Anura Kumara Dissanayake at the Presidential Secretariat today. The President extended his best wishes to the new IGP. Priyantha Veerasurya became 37th IGP of Sri Lanka. He is also the first IGP to have risen through all three ranks: Police Constable, Sub-Inspector and Assistant Superintendent of Police, before being appointed to the post of this top post. And meanwhile, the Gem City Ratnapura 2025 Gems and Jewellery Exhibition commenced today. This has been organized in Ratnapura town and will end on the 17th of this month. The exhibition, which has been organized with the objective of opening the Sri Lanka's gem and jewellery industry international market, was launched under the patronage of Prime Minister Dr. Haruni Amarasurya, Minister Sunil Hadunethi and Deputy Minister Chaturanga Abesinghe. Live displays of gem cutters, modern and traditional jewellery patterns and seminars on digitalizing gem industry have been included in this event that has been organized by the Gem and Jewellery Authority. The Prime Minister launched the website relating to the exhibition. Ratnapura town, popularly known as the Gem City, has now become the Sri Lanka's gemstone trade centre, since a number of very rare world-famous blue sapphires have been discovered in this area. Minister Sunil Hadunethi said that a range of new policies, such as developing the diamond sector and introducing new laws to allow the direct export of rough gemstones, are already being prepared to help the gem and jewellery sector reach the challenging target of $1 billion as expected with the export revenue. Today is the 79th National Independence Day of India. A commemorative function organized on this occasion was held at the Indian High Commission premises in Colombo today. India got independence from British rule on the 15th of August 1947. Indian High Commissioner in Sri Lanka, Santosh Jha, joined the commemorative function held in Colombo as the chief guest, along with a group of other distinguished guests. The function commenced with the unfurling of the tricolour Indian flag. Indian High Commissioner in Sri Lanka, Santosh Jha, expressed his views on Indo-Sri Lanka relations in a speech delivered on this occasion.
India put the power to shape our destiny in the hands of each of us, without any restrictions of gender, religion, and other factors that had barred many people from voting in other democracies. The transition was a natural reflection of our ancient democratic ethos. India had the oldest republics in the world. It is rightly acknowledged as the mother of democracy. When we adopted the Constitution, it provided the edifice of democracy. We built democratic institutions that strengthen the practice of democracy. We prize our Constitution and our democracy above everything else.
A function was held at the Deputy High Commissioner's office in Kandy. The special state function of the Government of India was held in the morning today at the ramparts of the Red Fort in New Delhi with the participation of Prime Minister Narendra Modi. Rich tributes were paid to all who contributed for the independence of the nation during the state function.
In more local news, a program is being implemented to provide infrastructure facilities to cultivate barren paddy lands in the Beyagama electoral division. Renovation of canal ways connected with this program commenced recently. Steps have been taken to cultivate the paddy lands belonging to Yathawatta, Ganiwatta and Beyagama villages in the Beyagama electoral division. These paddy lands remained barren for a number of years. The renovation of Kokula Oya Canal Way was commenced yesterday under the leadership of Minister of Urban Development and Housing, Anura Karuna Tilaka, in order to provide irrigation facilities to cultivate these paddy lands. These paddy lands, having an extent of 45 acres, will be able to be cultivated with the renovation of the canal way without any hindrance. The renovation of the canal had been planned to be useful during the time of disasters. Renovation of canals and dams was also commenced in order to enable recultivate the paddy lands at Alutgama, Bogamu and Murenwata areas in Gampaha district. The extent of these paddy lands is around 200 acres. An amount of 30 million rupees has been earmarked for the purpose of the renovation of canals and dams in order to cultivate barren paddy lands in Gampaha district.
The Lanka Postal Service Association says that it will not take part in the postal employees' strike jointly to be held by several trade unions, and they made this observation at a media briefing held today. Secretary to the Lanka Postal Services Association Jagat Mahinda says that a circular issued to the entire public service based on the overtime allowance included in the 2027 salary revision had also been sent to the Postal Department. He stated that when postal workers perform 1 hour of overtime, they receive an additional hour rest period. However, due to certain reductions in this allowance, postal trade unions are preparing to launch an indefinite strike. He further said that as the Lanka Postal Services Union and as postal employees, they had inquired into the matter and could not accept this reduction, especially since salaries for the entire public service had already been increased compared to the salaries received in March. E.K. Madhagoda, a member of the Lanka Postal Workers Union, questioned on whose behalf such a postal strike would be conducted, noting that salaries related to allowance and overtime rates had already been increased. He explained that the unions were citing an issue over the rate, claiming a reduction, but in reality, postal workers now earn more than before compared to the amounts they previously received for overtime.
Various parties expressed their views regarding the derogatory remarks passed by Parliamentary Harsha De Silva recently on the close relationship between Sri Lanka and India. National Organizer of the Democratic National Alliance, Niluksha Kumara, criticized opposition MP Dr. Harsha De Silva, who is also the chairman of the Committee on Public Finance, saying that the MP appeared to be making a statement suggesting that the Sri Lankan government was supporting the United States against India, in line with the tax imposed by the US administration of President Donald Trump on gold imports to India. He said such a claim, also posted on Dr. De Silva's Twitter account, was unacceptable, especially at a time when India had helped Sri Lanka during its economic crisis. Kumara added that this was an issue between India and the US and Sri Lanka had no involvement. He stressed that no leader, government official or citizen of Sri Lanka had ever expressed satisfaction about the gold tax imposed on India, nor had anyone acted against India. He questioned what Dr. De Silva was trying to imply and described his comments as misleading.
පාර්ලිමේන්තුවේ රාජ්‍ය ගිණුම්කාරක සභාවේ සභාපතිවරයා අපි ජනාධිපතිවරයාට කියනවා වහාම හර්ෂ සිල්වා රාජ්‍ය ගිණුම්කාරක සභාවේ සභාපතිවරයෙක් අයින් කරන්න. අපි කියනවා පාර්ලිමේන්තුවේ විපක්ෂයේ නියෝජනය කරන පක්ෂ තියෙනවා. විශ්වාසභංග යෝජනාවක් කියන්න. මේක සම්පූර්ණයෙන්ම මේ රටවල් දෙක අතර තිබිච්ච ඒ රාජතාන්තික දින ගනුදෙනු සහ රාජතාන්තික සම්බන්ධතා පළුදු කරන්න හිතාමතා කර ප්‍රකාශයක්.
Venerable Omari Punnasiri Thera also condemned the remarks, stating that Dr. De Silva had published his statement with English subtitles on social media and national television, implying that the President of Sri Lanka was laughing at India during a parliamentary session. The Thera said this narrative had gone viral in India, which could harm diplomatic relations between the two countries and create resentment towards Sri Lanka among the Indian public. The Thera described the MP's conduct as a traitorous act, urging the public to reject and condemn such politicians.
මේ වගේ മന്ത്രിවරු අපි සමාජයෙන් තුලින් හෙලා දකින්න ඕන. මෙයයි ප්‍රතික්ෂේප කරන්න ඕන. අපිට දේශපාලනය කරන්න පුළුවන්.
Venerable Rajangane Pedasithera said that while anyone had the right to engage in politics, it was wrong to insult one another way in a way that damages the country's reputation. The Thera said that such actions were serious and should be avoided and called on the MP to apologize the nation. Children are the most valuable asset of parents and elders. As such, the parents always try to provide the best available things to their children, and among these children, there are street children, and women should be paid that special attention to everyone. You must have heard that saying, not that whose child, but the child has to be considered a child irrespective of the ownership. It has to be the responsibility of citizens as a society not to leave the life of any child to be wasted on streets. It is exemplary unfortunate situation that the small hands meant to guide the world are left for begging from others since their very childhood of them. According to the Child Rights Convention, a person under the age of 18 years is considered as a child. 30% of the population in the country are children. It is compulsory to direct children up to the age of 16 years towards education without fulfilling this objective if the future expectations of the children, considered as the most valuable assist of the nation, is facing a deplorable fate under the poverty of parents and elders. There is something wrong somewhere. Effective from the 1st of July, engaging children under the age of 16 in begging and business activities, along with engaging children between the ages of 16 to 18 years in domestic labor and other dangerous jobs, have been banned legally. Some actions has to be taken if we find such children on the streets of this country. Minister of Women and Children's Affairs Saroja Savitri Polraj said that in Sri Lanka, it is a common practice that when a mother or a woman engages in begging with a child, people tend to give them a considerable amount of money and move on. She pointed out that such actions never bring any real benefit to the children. Instead of supporting a society that depends on begging, she said that children should be taken to a place where they can be rescued from that situation. Steps taken by the government regarding such children has to be analysed. Minister of Women and Child Affairs Saroja Savitri Polraj requested citizens that if they see any child, especially one of school-going age, begging, engaging in selling items or involved in any dangerous or risky occupation, they should immediately contact the Women and Children's Division by dialing 109 and report it. She also noted that complaints and reports can be made to the National Child Protection Authority through its hotline 1929. She mentioned that the Ministry, the Women and Child Affairs Centre and the Police Department share the responsibility. The Minister further said that according to a concept introduced by the President, arrangements have been made to provide an allowance of 5,000 rupees for institutionalized children. Out of that, 2,000 rupees will be deposited monthly into a national savings bank account under the name Arthur through the respective institution administration to be used for the child's personal and daily needs. She added that if any child is unidentified in such circumstances and is presented to court through the police, the subsequent institutionalized that child will also be entitled to receive this benefit. Whatever the social status, these little flowers who will take the responsibility of the world tomorrow should be taken care of them today as a responsibility entrusted on all elders by providing them the proper guidance.
In more local news, Minister Dr. Anil Jayantha Fernando says that the present government is dedicated to ensure transparency. He requested Japanese investors to invest in this country without any fear at a business promotion summit held in Colombo yesterday. The inaugural session of Japan-Sri Lanka Business Promotion, jointly organized by the Japanese Embassy in this country and the Sri Lanka Investment Board, was held yesterday at the Sri Lankan Investment Board Auditorium. Japanese Ambassador in Sri Lanka Akio Somato and Minister Dr. Anil Jayantha Fernando participated on this occasion. The objective of the summit is to solve problems surfaced during the operation of Japanese projects in this country by Japanese companies, to expand existing projects and to open avenues for new investment opportunities. 71 Japanese companies are conducting business activities by now under the Sri Lanka Investment Board in the island. A number of unregistered companies under the Sri Lanka Investment Board are also operating in Sri Lanka. According to Minister Dr. Nalinda Jayatissa, Sri Lanka has gained international recognition as a country which follows optimum and qualitative breastfeeding practices with a high rate of success. The minister made these remarks joining the counselling workshop of the National Breastfeeding Month and the National Commemorative Function. Every year, 1st to 7th of August has been declared as International Breastfeeding Week. The Ministry of Health and Mass Media has taken steps to declare the month of August as the National Breastfeeding Month. Minister Dr. Nalinda Jayatissa pointed out that steps have to be taken to convert breastfeeding not just a health massage, but a message which will provide social value within the community. He stressed that a coordinated action with the dedication of everyone responsible, including media, is needed to achieve this purpose. The minister further said that programs necessary to promote breastfeeding in this country will be implemented under the guidance of the Ministry of Health.
Invest Sri Lanka and Investor Forum underscoring Sri Lanka's commitment to strengthen bilateral economic ties with Singapore and to attract global investment into revitalized investment-friendly environment was held recently in Singapore. The forum was held with the participation of over 150, including senior government officials, regulators, corporate leaders and global investors. The High Commissioner of Sri Lanka in Singapore, Senara Dissanayake, emphasized the importance of the timely forum as a platform to strengthen bilateral economic relations and showcase Sri Lanka's renewed growth prospects. Professor Anil Jayantha Fernando, Minister of Labour and Deputy Minister of Economic Development, presented the government's policy outlook, focusing on an investment-led growth strategy to revise a lost decade of economic stagnation, supported by new fiscal legislation and sectoral priorities including energy, tourism, manufacturing, agriculture, logistics and digitalization. The Governor of the Central Bank of Sri Lanka, Dr. Nalindalal Veerasinghe, provided the economic outlook, outlining a rapid recovery with 5% GDP growth in 2024, falling inflation, raising foreign reserves exceeding $6 billion and nearly completion of debt restructuring. He announced Sri Lanka is to record a current account surplus for the third consecutive year in 2025, the first since trade liberalization in 1977, driven by stable exports, strong remittances and tourism rebound.
Bringing you the news again, Minister Dr. Anil Jayantha Fernando says that the present government is dedicated to ensure transparency. He requested Japanese investors to invest in this country without any fear at a business promotion summit held in Colombo yesterday.
This new government is with a new mandate to do a total transformation of our society to a better place, to uplift the humanity, the living conditions and the pride of people of Sri Lanka, to be raised up to a level of the great nation. Apart from the other things that we have to address in that journey, the economic development is paramount important. How best we achieve this economic development? The key is the new investment. We need to bring in new investment. Investment really energizes the production. Without having new investments, we can do very little, that is maybe increase your productivity and solve your existing problems, that and this. But new investment is a key. Hope that now our government is ready to facilitate new investments and welcome new investments and to help and improve good relationships with especially Japanese investors.
I would like to extend my sincere gratitude to Honorable Minister Anil Jayantha and the Sri Lankan government for cooperating with us in convening this meeting. We all know where Sri Lanka is heading right now. Sri Lanka is on the right track for economic recovery, staying within IMF agreement, and just debt restructuring has been agreed with Japan and with so many countries already. And Sri Lankan government, the whole country is heading for regaining confidence from the international community by promoting good governance, and forcefully forging ahead with anti-corruption efforts. Under these circumstances, I thought it is essential to have this kind of meeting for the improvement of business environment, to find a solution to concrete problems that Japanese investors are facing right now here in Sri Lanka.
30 Sri Lankan students have received full-term scholarships in major universities in China to follow postgraduate and doctorate degrees. Presenting the scholarships was held at the Chinese Embassy in Colombo yesterday. Chinese government has offered these scholarships for the academic year 2025-2026. The 30 recipients were offered scholarship certificates under the patronage of Deputy Minister Dr. Madhura Senaviratne. Over 165 Sri Lankan students have received benefits from this scholarship program launched by the Chinese government for over several years. Chinese Ambassador Kui Zhenghong and many others were present at this occasion.
Minister K.D. Lalkantha says that farmers should focus their attention to market situation before they start cultivations. The minister made these remarks joining the Vavuniya District Progress Review meeting held under the Vavugampa Pubudu program. This program will provide benefits to a large number of families living in the Vavuniya, Mana, Anuradhapura, Polonnaruwa, Trincomalee, Puttalam and Kurunegala districts. This program will cover many sectors including agriculture, drinking water and disaster management. Deputy Minister of Irrigation Susil Ranasinghe says that a special program has been implemented to empower fishermen, their families and fishery societies. The minister made the comment participating at the opening ceremony of Dirava Saviya program. This was held at the Suryavava village in Mahaveli D zone in Kantale. At this ceremony, 220,000 fishlet were released to Suryavava reservoir.
And meanwhile, Deputy Minister Namal Karunaratne says that the objective of the government is to increase the milk production in the country to 3 million litres by 2029. A project is in operation now to establish milk collection centres in every Gram and Lidahari division for this purpose. The Polonnaruwa district program was held parallel to the national program of A Prosperous Country and establishment of dairy centres at Madhuragiri Divisional Secretariat Division. Milk collection centres are due to establish with the participation of all dairy farmers with the aim of increasing local milk production. Dairy farmers will be enlightened in this respect, and Deputy Minister T.B. Sarath, officials of the Ministry of Livestock along with a number of other officials were present at this program.
More local news items in brief. Bellanville Asala Perahera Festival marks its 75th anniversary this year. A special commemorative stamp and a first day cover was issued to mark this event under the Anusasana of Chief Incumbent Venerable Dr. Bellanville Dharmaratna Thera. Minister of Health and Mass Media Dr. Nalinda Jayatissa was also present at the occasion. The commemorative stamp depicts the history of Bellanville Asala Festival that commenced continuously since 1950 and the Bellanville Rajamahaviharaya. The minister presented the new stamp and first day cover to Bellanville Nayaka Thera. Bellanville final Randoli Perahera of this year is to parade streets tomorrow night. The Perahera festival will be concluded following the traditional water cutting ritual to be held in the morning of day after tomorrow. Today is the third day of the program titled From Heart to Jaffna. This has been organized by the Clean Sri Lanka Secretariat with the aim of popularize Clean Sri Lanka program among the Tamil community in the north. A Clean Sri Lanka mobile service was held at the Valikam South Divisional Secretariat premises in Uduville to provide solutions to the problems faced by the Tamil people. Police have discovered T-56 weapon and a magazine, 14 T-56 ammunitions and a pistol at a raid in a house close to Minwangoda Hospital. A suspect has also been taken into custody. The police stated that 3 swords and 2 Chris knives have now also been found. Police have revealed that the suspect is security officer at the Kattanayake airport. Former State Minister Lohan Rathwate passed away today. He was 57 years at the time of the demise at a private hospital in Colombo due to an alignment. The Haputale viewpoint, located between Berugal and Haputale along the Colombo-Badulla main road, is full of local and foreign tourists these days. Many visitors reach this viewpoint and enjoy picturesque scenery in the vicinity. Coming up is your foreign news.
Welcome back, and in your foreign update, a high-stakes summit between US President Donald Trump and Russian President Vladimir Putin is set to take place in Alaska, with both leaders arriving for their first face-to-face talks since they last met in 2019.
The meeting will focus on ending the war in Ukraine as well as other issues straining US-Russian bilateral relations. Kremlin spokesman Dmitry Peskov says Trump will meet Putin at the steps of the Russian President's aircraft when it lands in Anchorage. Russian President Vladimir Putin, currently in Magadan in Russia's Far East, toured factories and a sports complex before departing. The Kremlin says his delegation will include top aides, Foreign Minister Sergei Lavrov, and the heads of defense, finance and investment. The Pentagon confirms senior U.S. military leaders are also in Alaska to provide strategic advice during the summit. Trump told reporters that any territorial decisions must be made by Ukraine and hinted at possible security guarantees, but not through NATO. Economic cooperation may also be discussed if program is made. This is the first US-Russia leaders summit in 4 years. Back then, former US President Joe Biden and Russian President met before the Ukraine-Russian war. In your sports news, Damsat Perez of Ananda College, Colombo won the Under-14 Boys Championship of the National Tennis Championship tournament.
And the girls' championship was won by Sahansa Damsulani of Vishaka Vidyalaya, Colombo. Finals of the Under-14 matches of the 111th National Tennis Championship tournament, organized by the Sri Lanka Tennis Association, was held today at Damsat Perez of Ananda College, Colombo, and Revan Amarasinghe of St. Thomas's College played in the boys' final. Damsat Perez won the first set 6-4 and the second set 6-2. Accordingly, he won the match 2-0 and also Under-14 Boys Tennis Championship. Sahansa Damsulani of Vishaka Vidyalaya, Colombo, and Shashendri Fernando of St. Joseph's College, Negombo played in the girls' finals match. Sahansa Damsulani won the first and the second set 6-2 and won the match 2-0 along with the Under-14 Girls Tennis Championship. And with that, we conclude tonight's news. Do just tomorrow at the very same time. I'm Charita, Sanam with Kinza. Stay safe and good night.
Good night.